Hello, everybody. Today, we're going to learn about expanding our sentences. We're going to make our short sentences clearer, richer, and more controlled. The main purpose of today is that we learn about adding some extra details to our sentences to make them more meaningful. The map of today, we're learning first about the subject and the verb, and then we were thinking about adding useful details like who, where, when, how, and why. And then we will add precise details, not any random decoration. And then we will connect ideas using subordinating conjunctions or coordinating conjunctions. If you remember fanboys, we studied them before. And we can edit for control to make sure that we have no problem with the punctuation or run-on sentences, for example. And we can use these in writing. So one clear, expanded sentence with useful detail and correct punctuation. This is our main purpose. So what is this sentence skeleton? Let's look at this sentence. All right. The exhausted boy sprinted across the playground after the final bell. So who can tell me what is the subject and the object or the main verb of the sentence? So what is the subject and the main verb of the sentence? So read this again and try to pick up the subject. So is it the or the exhausted or boy? Which word here you think? Bravo. Yes, it's boy. Correct. So it's only boy. Boy is the subject. And which word is the main verb? Can it be sprinted or across or which other word? Yes, bravo is going to be sprinted. So this is going to be the subject and the verb. The boy sprinted, or I can say boy sprinted. Okay, so the exhausted boy is the subject, the full subject, and sprinted is the verb, and the details in the sentence is that across the playground after the final bell. So before we expand the sentence, we need to find the skeleton, all right? Like who or what plus did what, which is the action. So what information is missing? When I say the girl smiled, I need you to think about what are the questions I can ask about that. I need you here to plan meaningful expansion for this small sentence, the girl smiled. So ask 3 questions that could help us expand this sentence. Bravo. I can ask, which girl? Like, is she a tired girl? Is she a young athlete? Is she Mina, the new student? Okay, where? Where did she smile? Did she smile at the classroom door? On the bus? Near the finish line? Okay, how did she smile? Warmly, nervously, proudly, or with relief? Why did she smile in the first place? Maybe because she had like solved the problem. Maybe because she has won the match. Maybe. Let's see. So I swam. When I say I swam, this is a very simple sentence, right? I need to add more details to the sentence. So I can say, when did I swim? Where did I swim? Why? And how? These will help me expand the sentence. So when I expand the sentence will be more vivid, clear, and the reader will be more interested in reading my sentences. So here we go. I swam in the cold lake. And I can use how I can say slowly and carefully. When you ask yourself these questions and you get like more of these answers, you cannot just write them immediately. You have to think, how can I reassemble the sentence? So here we go with the sentence. It's going to be that way. So I'm going to say, I swam slowly and carefully in the cold lake because the water was deeper than I expected. Now you made this powerful sentence, and instead of you say, I swam only, that was the sentence, the very beginning, right here. I made it so powerful. I added where and how and why. Why? Because the water was deeper than I expected. Okay? Here, because the water was deeper than I expected. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Type. Which detail is strongest? The boy opened the box. Which one you believe is strongest? Like, is it open the box quickly, or with shaking hands, or very nicely? I'm waiting for you. Okay. For anyone answered that it's with shaking hands, well done, because it's strongest. Actually, this one is strongest. It suggests fear, nerves, or excitement. The reader can picture the moment. With shaking hands, the boy opened the box or the DOS box. This is extra information I added, which makes it so powerful. Do not add adjectives just to make the sentence longer, but make it more like meaningful. So make the meaning stronger. Okay. Can you place the action here? The student waited. Can you think of where, how, and why? Let's see the answer. So outside the locked room, this is where. How did he wait there? I can say with his backpack held tightly against his chest. Why did he do that? Because he had heard the strange sound inside. So outside the locked classroom, the student waited with his backpack held tightly against his chest because he had heard a strange sound inside. Can you explain the reason here? Children can play. Can we add like a little bit more details? Let's see. When, where, and why? Think about it. Okay. I can say during spring, this is when, and I can say where, like outside, and I can say why, because the weather is warmer. And I can say during spring, children can play outside because the weather is warmer. So here, the detail explains the idea. It does not distract from it. Still, we're in the same idea. Can you show the contrast here? The boy was tired. He kept running. Here, there is a contrast, like two opposite actions. Like the boy was tired and he kept running. How? So in this case, I need to combine these two sentences using what? Although. Many questions come like that. So how can I connect these two sentences using although? Who can do it? Yes. So I can say, although the boy was tired, comma. Remember this comma. He kept running. So although shows contrast, we expect him to stop, but he continues. Although the exhausted boy could barely breathe, he kept running towards the finish line. This is even more powerful. This is an upgrade for you. Okay. Add information about the noun. So this is the noun here, robot, right? So the robot rolled across the disk. I need to add something to describe robot. I'm going to use which in this case. Okay, if I want to describe a thing, a noun that is a thing, I can use which. So here I'm going to add something called relative clause. How can I add it to the robot? I need to describe the robot. Add something more information about the robot. So I'm going to say this, which had tiny silver wheels. This is more information about the robot. Which had, okay, tiny silver wheels. So the robot, which had, comma, remember this one because there's an extra information. I put these look at this. I put these between two commas because it's an extra information. So when I put extra words or a phrase, all right, or a clause, this is going to be a relative clause. When I add a relative clause, all right, I add it between two commas. Why? Because an extra information. So I say the robot, and instead of I say the robot rolled across the disk, I can say the robot, comma, which had tiny silver wheels, rolled across the disk. The commas show the clause that the clause adds extra information, adds extra information about the robot. Another example, the teacher, comma, who looked worried, comma, opened the envelope. Open the envelope. Okay. What is wrong with this sentence? Who can tell me? Look at this and tell me what's wrong with this. It says, the dog barked, it ran outside, it chased the ball. What do you think? What do you feel about this sentence? Actually feel that it's like something is wrong here. This in English, we call it a run-on sentence. This is a run-on sentence, guys. This is a run-on. Run-on like you do not use any full stops or any connecting words. It's wrong. So in this case, we need to fix it. I have three. How would I know, mister, that if it's like a wrong one? How would I know it's a run-on? If you want to know run-on, just like go after the verbs. How many verbs do you think? So the dog barked. This is the first verb. Okay? And then it ran outside. Ran is a verb. It's an action word. Remember, this is an action word. This is an action word. And then it chased the ball. Also chase the ball. Chase here is an action word. So I got three verbs, which means I have three sentences. Okay. So to make it clear and controlled, three ideas are pushed together with no punctuation or joining words. That's the problem here. How can I fix it? There is way one to fix it. So the first way, say the dog barked, comma, ran outside, and chased the ball. This is first way, an easy way. If you want to make it a little bit more advanced, say the dog barked and ran outside because, I can use because here, it wanted to chase the ball. It wanted to chase the ball. Longer is not always better, but clear, of course, is better. Okay, so the door opened. Can you choose a mood? Can you make it more suspense? Choose your mood. I'm going to make it more suspense. All right, like I need to add some suspense to this one. The door opened. I'm going to make it like, scary, something like creepy. Let's see what happened here. So slowly the old wooden door opened with a soft creak. So slowly here is the pace. Like how, in what way? And if you want to create an image, say the olden wooden door. And if we want to make a sound, use the word creak. Okay? So the sentence feels quiet and tense. So quiet and tense. And I feel like, something is happening. Something is going to happen, actually. With trembling hands, Lena pushed open the door, or the old wooden door. This is like giving more suspense here. Okay, now let's upgrade this mini paragraph. Look at this. The classroom was empty. A sound came from the cupboard. Tom moved closer. Let's add some more details to make it more interesting. In the empty classroom, comma, Tom stepped closer to the cupboard, comma, holding his breath. A faint scratching sound came from behind the wooden door. Although he wanted to run, he reached slowly for the handle. So here I added the sitting and a body language, because like stepped closer, and I added the sound, which is the sound like scratching here, scratching sound. All right. And then I used although, which is a contrast and control punctuation, like I used correct punctuation here. This sentence is richer, but it's easy to read. Okay. The class cheered. expand the sentence using where, why, and maybe you add one more adjective. Let's see the answer for this one. Inside the noisy hall, comma, the delighted class cheered because their team had won the final match. So in this case, I added the place, which is I said inside the noisy hall, right? And I use the reason because their team had won the final match, and one adjective which is noisy. I added here noisy and delighted. So I added these. These are two adjectives. I added them to make it more, vivid, more clear. So expand. This is going to be for your homework. I need you guys to do it. So I need you to read these three sentences and expand them into a nice paragraph. All right. See you next time. Take care.